Welcome to the Faith in the Marketplace podcast. I am Elder Derek Strickland, and I am so glad to be coming to you all today with the very first installment of the Faith in the Marketplace podcast. This podcast was started because I wanted to highlight Christian entrepreneurs that were actually doing some good out here in the marketplace, as well as to shed some light on the kingdom of God that have this negative connotation that we're not supposed to be wealthy, that as believers we must be kind of poor and always, living paycheck to paycheck. And I want to just get rid of all of that. So guess what? I just so happen to be a Christian entrepreneur myself, and I have experienced up and downs. I've had very successful years, and I had some years that was just like, what? What happened, right? And we want to go through just what it takes in order to have a successful business as a Christian. Now, you may be saying, what's the difference? What do you mean as a Christian, right? Well, as a believer, there's a set of things or convictions that we have, right? That we want to keep our integrity. We don't want to go outside of the lines for in order to make a dollar, right? So we want to make sure that the first thing that we're doing is that we're standing in the will of God, but we also want to be able to thrive in business. And guess what? We are thriving in business. Oh my goodness! Today's first guest, let me tell you all, we are in for a treat. Today's first guest is a very successful business lady. She is the best-selling author of the Home Biz Tax Lady, No Nonsense Guide to Home Business Management. She is a sought-after speaker, a trainer, appearing on various panels and speaking to live audience. Man, we are so grateful to have her. She is also an Army vet. So we definitely thank her for her service to our country. She is an Army wife. She's a mother too. I'm telling you, you all don't want to miss this. You all are in the right place at the right time. Today's guest is none other than my sister from another mister, Lusandra Everett, Gas Everett. Let me bring her in. Let me bring her in right now.
Wait. I know you all are enjoying this episode of the Faith in the Marketplace podcast with Elder Derek Strickland. But if you are a church leader and you're looking to take your ministry online to reach a larger audience and have a greater impact on the people that you serve, look no further than Derek Strickland's Video Rank Maker. With Video Rank Maker, he's going to show you how to actually have more members than your physical church could ever hold by spreading the gospel and making sure that your videos are reaching the intended person. So if this is something that interests you and you want to learn how to get a free complimentary game plan for your church, click the link in the description and tell him that Joshua sent you and he'll take good care of you. Once again, you all have a God bless day, and now back to the episode.
There she go.
Hey,
Hey, welcome. I don't know if you heard the introduction or not.
no, I didn't. I'm afraid to say.
Now we're just bragging on you and bragging how God has blessed you to be a best-selling author, a veteran serving our country, an Army wife, a mother of two, a speaker, a trainer, and no nonsense about all of it. How you
Oh,
doing
that
today?
makes me tired just listening to all that.
How you doing today?
I am fantastic. I literally am fantastic.
Good. Well, I certainly thank God that you are my very first guest on the Faith in the Marketplace podcast. And we're going to get into some things as far as what it is that you do. So I'm definitely going to let you tell the audience what it is that you do, how you help people, and just what that looks like as, as a Christian, as far as business is concerned. We definitely want to keep a certain set of a standard, or there's an integrity that we must keep. And we're going to get into all of these things. Of course, you have some questions that I have for you, and we're going to get into that. And we're going to kind of weave in and out and just go as the Lord leads us. Is that all right?
I love it.
All right. So if you could do me a favor, tell the people how you got started doing what it is that you do.
As with anything, it was an accident. That's exactly what this was. But there were several things that led up to this accident, and we'll talk about that. But I really was, it was really one of those things. Taxes was one of those things that I always wanted to do, but I had never been in the right place at the right time. I'm an Army wife. We were moving like literally every calendar year, like every 18 months we were moving. And so it was, again, it was something I wanted to do, never in the right place at the right time until, and then I was at the Girl Scout meeting with my daughter and one of the other moms. She was like, hey, listen, my parents have this, they own this business. They're starting a class, and I was like, perfect. I have been waiting for this. Sign me up. And that was in October of 2015, I believe. And then after, and I didn't hear anything after a while. And then they reached out to me in December of 2015 and said, hey, can you just take this online course? I was like, y'all should have led with that. I could have been done by now, right?
Right.
So I did that, passed the test, and the guy was like, I was like, okay, I'm done. He's like, you passed? I'm like, yep, I passed. He's like, nobody passes on the first try. I'm like, okay, I did. What's next? Like, okay. But then I went to work and it has really been all gas, no brakes ever since.
Wow. Wow. Awesome. Now, I don't want to skip over the part of you being a veteran. So
Mhm.
first of all, we thank you for your service. Now, what branch were you with?
Army.
Army, Army. What did you do in the Army?
I was a logistician, transporter.
Oh, wow. So
Yep. I was a
like,
transportation officer. Yeah. And so
uh,
my husband, that's where I met my husband. We were
uh,
both actually logisticians. He outranked me by about 6 months, but we're not going to talk about that. Uh,
man, that's
that's it.
awesome. Awesome.
But yeah, that's how we met in the Army. And so yeah, and then decided we was in love and got married. And
I heard
then
that.
when my son was about 4 months old, I got orders to deploy.
Uh-huh.
And my husband was like, you can't leave me here with this baby. I was like, yes, I know, because I would like for him to still be alive when I get back. So I wound up getting out as a captain in 2004.
Oh, wow. Wow. Man, it's amazing at the how God would take us through certain areas and through certain situations to bring us up to where we are here. And I'm pretty sure you probably thank God for all of the experiences you had going through the Army, and it's just preparing you for this moment that you're doing right now in your own
Absolutely.
business. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, I noticed that you are an enrolled agent with the IRS. Ooh, right? Man, what is this negative connotation about the IRS? Can you, is there, I guess, should there be a negative outlook the way most people look at the IRS?
Absolutely not. So first of all, an enrolled agent is licensed by the Department of Treasury. So even though it is an IRS awarded certification, we don't work for the IRS. We work for the client. And most people have a poor opinion of the IRS because the IRS is the police, right? Congress writes the laws. The IRS enforces said laws. So when people are mad at the IRS, like y'all mad at the wrong people. First of all, you're mad at the wrong people. That's just who you can
Wow.
get a hold of because you can't get a hold of Congress. So
Wow.
whenever people are angry about tax laws, I said, did you look to see how your congressman voted on said tax law? Because that's who you need to be mad at. So
Really?
so the Congress writes the laws, the IRS enforces said law, interprets said law, right? That's their job. So they really are the police. So if we really want to just go there, you think about stop and frisk. Somebody wrote that law, the police enforced the law. If you didn't write it, it wouldn't exist.
Ooh,
So same
that's
thing with the IRS. If Congress didn't write the law, it wouldn't exist.
wow. Wow. Now that's a whole nother subject in terms of going out to the voting, going out to the polls, registering to vote. You all register to vote. I don't care when you all seeing this, go register to vote right now. We have a very important election coming up, and we had some local elections before this. So it's like,
Absolutely. And
maybe we
so
should have been
even
there.
with that, in talking about, the tax laws and everything, the tax laws are getting ready to change again.
Really?
Okay. Yes. At the end of 2025, tax laws change. So you really, if you're saying, I totally hate it here with these tax laws, you need to look at your congressman. You can actually go look up your congressman. You can look up the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. You
Uh-huh.
can find out how your congressman voted. If your congressman did not vote the way that you wanted them to vote, then you should be voting for other people,
Right. Right. Wow. Yeah,
or
that's
at
a
least
whole
writing
lot.
them a letter in their office and saying, hey, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Y'all hear that? She telling you what we got to do. So
Yeah.
whatever state you live in, look at the congressman, congresswoman, and
Yeah.
see how they, what type of laws they're trying to pass in as it relates to taxes or
Yeah.
anything for that matter.
Any law, anything that you care about. There's no
Yeah.
way to look at all the laws. Ain't nobody got that kind of time. But whatever matters to you, look at how your local officials are voting, look at how your congressmen are voting, your representatives are voting, and you need to make your voice heard. And if they do what you don't want them to do, like noted, we will not be voting for you next time.
Wow. Wow. It makes sense. It make a whole lot of sense. Now, tell me this. What are some of the most common mistakes you see home business owners make? Like I'm in the space of home business owner. I done the MLMs, I done did the e-commerce, I done did all of these type of things. I'm a consultant. But what are some of the common mistakes you see us make?
Hey, what's up, church leaders? This is Todd here. And if you're serious about reaching more souls online, then you need to know about Gary Strickland's Video Rainmaker. Let's face it, in today's digital world, your church needs to be where the people are, and that's online. But it's not just about posting videos, it's about getting those videos in front of the right eyes. Gary Strickland knows how to make that happen. In fact, one church saw a 50% increase in online engagement within just 3 months of working with him. Now, that's real impact. So if you're ready to level up your church's online ministry, Gary's got a complimentary game plan just for you. Don't wait. Click the link below. Get started today with Video Rankmakers.
Or bookkeeping is
For
the
bookkeeping.
biggest thing. Yes. Because what happens is, I come from the home business industry as well. This is part of why I end up being the home biz tax lady, right? Because I come from that space. And in my first year of preparing taxes, if it was somebody that was getting in tax trouble, it was the home business owner. And the main reason is that they weren't keeping up with the books, meaning that you got at least once a month, you've got to be looking at your revenue, you've got to be looking at your expenses. And so that you know how much money you're making at the end of the year. I remember, but again, my first year, this lady, she was in an MLM and she bossed all the way out, right?
Mhm.
After everything, she probably ended up with about 10 to 12,000 in profit. Okay. So she had a tax bill and she
Mhm.
was not excited. And
Mhm.
she was like, well, why do I owe? I was like, because you made money. Like this.
Right.
Well, I thought a home business was supposed to save me on my taxes. Like, if you don't make money, but so if you
Right.
make money, you are going to write checks. We go into business to make money. And so that's one of the fallacies that are out there is that you pay taxes differently as a home business owner. It doesn't necessarily save you on taxes, is that you have a lot more flexibility in those taxes and the different things that you can do versus what you can do with your W-2 income. Okay. So not keeping up with the books, the income and expenses, really understanding where your money's coming from, where your money's going. And people just wait until April to get it together.
Uh-huh.
Well, there's nothing we can do in April. Somebody's like, well, fix it. There is no fixing.
Oh,
There is no
oh,
fixing at the table.
Well, but come on, can you fix these numbers right here, and can you uh just say that I did, you know what I'm trying to say.
No, we cannot. Circular 230 prohibits us from lying on your taxes, knowingly lying on your taxes.
Right, right. Wow. But do you run into people like that want you to
Oh,
like
absolutely.
step?
All the time.
Wow.
All the time. And my thing is that first of all, I am prohibited by law from preparing a return that I know is incorrect. And you
Mm,
also have to sign under penalty of perjury. It's like when you go and sign those documents, you're not
mm,
really reading what you're signing. That signature line is, matter of fact, I got a tax return right here. I'm about to read this to y'all.
mm.
Um, it says, under penalties of perjury, I declare that I have examined this return and the accompanying schedules and statements. And to the best of my knowledge and belief, they are true, correct, and complete.
Mm.
Declaration of preparer, that would be me, is that based on all information of which preparer has any knowledge. Under
Wow.
penalties of perjury,
Wow.
it is a felony.
Ooh. Mm. Listen, I hear police sirens already. Listen, I'm like, whatever you got to do to keep me out of jail,
Yeah,
give me the bill.
that's what I'm saying. I'd much rather pay a tax bill than bail.
Mm. Yes, man, that part right there. It's just amazing that it seems as though that in the home business industry, especially in terms of marketing, everybody want to boss out. We want to bling bling and all of that type of stuff. But nobody, I think you're the only person I see talking about taxes and bookkeeping and making sure that you're legal and keeping things on the up and up. Why do you think? I mean, I'm pretty sure you know other people that are doing it, but they're not doing it on a level, as far as I'm concerned, like you are. I don't know, maybe
Because
just because I'm connected.
taxes aren't sexy. See, the thing about it is people want to give you the dessert, right? Get out here and make all this money. Get out here and, become a millionaire in 90 days. And even when tax professionals are marketing, they're marketing here, get the biggest refund and all of this stuff. Listen, the two don't go together. You can't make money and get a refund. Doesn't work like that. But that's what most people do is they sell the sensational. So they give you the good stuff. They give you you too can go buy a G-Wagon. Yes, that when I tell you, I just wanted to fight people. But that's the thing. And so then here I come with the vegetables. See, they feeding you the cake.
Mhm.
Everybody love cake.
Right,
Here
right.
I come with the vegetables, the nutrients, and people
Wow.
are like, "That's not good,"
Oh, wow,
but that's what
wow,
you need. And
wow.
so what happens is you go out here and do all this cake stuff, and then the IRS, and when you're filing, that's when the vegetables hit, and it's not fun.
So I would it be a stretch to say there was a lot of cake eaten in 2020?
Ooh, have mercy, a lot of it. And this absolutely during COVID, everybody was a guru. Let me teach you how to make all of this money. Let me teach you how to get all this credit. Let me teach you how to teach you how to teach you how to, right? But nobody realized that the price points for all of those programs were typically equal to the stimulus payments.
Ah,
So they
wow.
were marketing. So these people were marketing for your stimulus money that
Mhm,
was intended to help you take care of your family because they was going to help you flip the stimulus money, right? And
mhm.
some people did. The problem, though, is they weren't ready for the text.
Wow, 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 wow. Really? So here you come with the vegetables saying you got to eat this Brussels sprout
Yes,
and they don't like it.
and they don't like it.
I mean, so how does that how do you deal with that, especially as a believer, and you looking at people getting upset, mad at you, saying you don't know what you're doing or anything of that nature because you're not talking the way they want you to talk. As a
Mhm.
believer, how do you deal with that type of blowback?
I introduced them to the Internal Revenue Code. It
Mm.
says here's Internal Revenue Code 162 that says ordinary and necessary business expenses. Ma'am, you going to Jamaica was not an ordinary and necessary business expense.
What you
So
mean?
no, thou shalt not write it off.
Wait. But I'm shooting a video over there, a marketing video. I think
Well,
that's what I'm doing.
congratulations, right? So, and so again, that's the thing where you see all of these, a lot of these influencers out there talking about the grandiose, but not giving you the detail. And I'll give you an example. I had a client that wanted to write off their honeymoon in Cabo because their spouse did an online magazine, right? And so they were like, we want to write this off because she's putting it in the magazine. No, no,
No.
and I said, can you show me a schedule of your events where you met with people while you were there in Cabo? Did you meet with a restaurant owner, hotel owner? Did you meet with any? No? Oh, you just went and had a good time.
Oh.
So that does not necessarily equate a business expense. Now, can you write trips off? Absolutely. But there are specific rules that you have to meet in order to deduct those expenses. And you better believe that the IRS will audit them to the letter.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
they will disallow it. If they're like, disallowed, send us money.
Mm,
Disallowed, send us money.
mm.
And then you have to pay me to help get you out of trouble.
Wow. Wow. But thank God we got people like you that are in this profession that can help get you out of trouble. Because remember, I said the IRS,
They are the enforcer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But would you say that by the time someone has to knock on your door, well, let me say it like this: we would rather knock on your door than to have you knocking on our door saying, "Hey, you need me." If you're knocking on our
Yeah,
door, it's
absolutely.
too
So,
late.
what I tell my clients is this. I'm going to prepare your return as if you knew the IRS was going to show up tomorrow. Like
Wow.
if you do that, you don't know when tomorrow will come. And it doesn't matter if you did anything or didn't. I could never tell anyone they will or they won't get audited. Now, you hear about the red flags. And yes, there are sometimes we look at a return and be like, baby, you need to fix this before the IRS gets to you, right? Because when the IRS comes for you, your choices then become smaller.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so, yeah, so then when you're talking about preparing the return, like you have to be able to substantiate every single number on that return. If you can't, it will get disallowed. It's
Wow.
very simple.
Wow. 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 So at that point, when people are getting caught up with like that, is it just as simple as paying a bill? And if you can't pay a bill, then there's some jail time or some sirens coming your way, or how does
Oh,
that work?
they're not going to immediately put you in jail. No, we don't have a debtor's prison. Like they're not, the only people they come for in like the criminal sense is if you're doing some shady stuff, right? Creating a tax bill that you can't pay doesn't mean you're going to jail. It's when you do the shady stuff to not pay the bill. So for instance, you create a tax bill that you can't pay. You do the financial analysis and everything, and then you start hiding money. This is what DMX did, right?
Uh,
DMX, was putting stuff in other people's names, operating in cash. The government is slow. They are not stupid.
mm,
Okay. And this is what the IRS has like a 95, 96% win rate. So if they come for you,
mm.
you got a 4% chance of winning.
Wow, 4%.
So usually if they come for you, they are going to win. So they will let you go on and catch you because when they catch you, like here is all of our evidence.
Wow, wow.
So would you like to go to
That's
trial? You gonna plead? Like what you gonna do?
4%.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Man, that all right, guys. We got to make sure we're doing it right. We need a professional bookkeeper that's gonna help us keep all of these things together so that we don't have to go up against this 4%.
Right. And so that's why I tell my clients, if you prepare your return, like you knew the IRS was going to show up tomorrow, then when tomorrow comes, you're going to be all right.
Got you. That makes sense. That makes sense. You preparing for this, and if they never come, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. But at least
Definitely.
you are prepared, right?
That's right.
It's about the reassurance of knowing that if they come knocking on my door, we ready.
Because
Yeah.
listen, just like we don't know when Jesus is going to come back.
Whoa, we got to be ready right now. Ah, I see what you did there. I see what you did
I'm
there.
ready right now.
Right now, we don't want to be trying to get ready. We want to already be ready.
Already be ready.
Now, as I said in your intro, you are a successful author, right? Your book, The Home Biz Tax Lady, No Nonsense Guide to Home Business Management, has been very successful. What inspired you to write the book?
All of the foolishness I was seeing online,
Mm,
that really is it. What I wanted to do was provide a concise little book. Like you can really read it in one sitting. It is really not that long, y'all, like for
right.
real. But it provides some foundational stuff that you can do to run your business successfully. That's
Mm,
it. You don't need all this loop it, swoop it kind of stuff. Everybody wants to come with you, get you a C Corp holding company with the trust and you need to do all of that. If you just stick to some basic principles, then you can start growing a successful business. It's really not all of that loop it, swoop it stuff. You don't need to
right.
do that because it costs money to do those things. And
Mhm,
you hear people say, "Oh, well, the wealthy people do it all the time." Well, wealthy people also pay for attorneys and
mm,
accountants.
mhm. Hello. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the foundational stuff is how you actually make the money to pay for said attorneys and said accountants
Mhm.
and tax people.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So, as far as the book is concerned, do you give some practical tips inside of the book, as far as like,
This is stuff that anybody starting a business can do. This is, like I said, this is bare bones foundational stuff. If you know anything about me, I am a very simple person. End of story. And so what it does, it talks about business structures. It talks about, basic money management principles, and it talks about all of those things. And if you get those things right, then you will grow wealth. You will grow with a solid foundation.
mhm.
You're going to
Now,
build
is
on
there?
rock, you're going to build on sand. What you going to do?
I hear you. I hear you.
Mhm.
But can you share one or two tax strategies uh, that a home business owner can implement right away to better manage their taxes?
So, like I said, first thing is manage your money. Like do the bookkeeping, right? Because the bookkeeping is going to give you the financial picture of your business. And then when you're making money, it's like, oh, what can I do to mitigate this tax bill? So it could be your home office deduction, right? It
Mhm.
could be like one of the biggest things for sure, mileage. Now, a lot of people will go out here and put all these miles on their return.
Mhm.
The Schedule C, where most home business owners are sole proprietorship, single member LLC. This is what auditors cut their teeth on
All right.
because there's so much fraud there,
All
right?
right.
But your mileage is the biggest deduction that you have. So accurately tracking that mileage, absolutely. Like people want to talk about hiring their kids. Okay, great. But you got to put them kids on payroll.
Mm.
If you're not making the money, put the kids on payroll while we're trying to hire kids. So see, people talk about hiring your kids, but they don't the cake, but
Uh-huh.
they're not giving you the vegetables of the payroll, the job, and all the other things that you need to do those things. So if there's anything I can tell you, get you a me.
I
That's
heard
what
that.
you do.
End of story.
End of story. Get you a me.
I heard that. I heard that, and we gonna find out how they can get them a you at the end. We want to plug your site and whatever else you got going. But yeah, definitely we need people like you, and we thank God for people like you that's gonna keep it straight with us. I'm a person that I would rather you keep it straight, even if it means that you hurt my feelings. Keep me out of jail, please.
I'm about that life. You should hear my husband. He say, you be talking to people like you, they mama. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, not
Sometimes.
sorry.
Right. Sometimes that's what we need. So let me ask you this. How has your faith in Jesus um, carried you through this career you have? Because just like any other career or any other business, there's a lot of ups, there's some downs. Like, how has your faith in Jesus carried you through just the valleys and the hills of being in this business, in this niche of work that you do?
I think anything that you want to learn about business, you can pretty much find in the Bible,
Uh-huh.
right?
Really?
And so before I even got in business, because remember I told you, I got into it by accident, kind of.
Uh-huh.
Leading up to that, I had done a whole bunch of things, right? And nothing was working.
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing was working. And so I remember this day in particular, I was sitting in my office and I was just like, you know what? I ain't doing nothing. And I specifically heard in my spirit, it's about time.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, now what? And
Mhm.
so I began to work on myself. And during that time of working on myself, I read books. I read the Bible. Now I read the Bible 2 or 3 times from cover to cover. So when people come here and talking about the Bible says this, you really better be ready to show me because I might not remember it all, but I know if I read it.
Right. There
Right?
it is. That part. Yeah.
Right? Because the spirit will give you what you need when you need it.
When you need it.
I believe that.
Mhm.
And so, I read the stories. I read the stories of Joseph. I read the stories of Solomon and David and, all the things. And those are the things that help you build your faith. Because I heard Creflo Dollar say this in one of his, say what you want about Cref, but
All
Cref know
right.
his word too. I know him and his jet. I
Uh,
understand. But Creflo
uh-huh.
word too. Creflo said, if I can find in the word where he did it for somebody else,
Uh-huh.
that's all I need.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's all I
Got
need.
it.
And, you know, Paul, Paul said, when I was traveling, I was bringing all these people with me. I was taking care of them. That meant Paul wasn't broke
Right.
because
Right.
he took care of him and his peeps.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Paul was
Got you.
broke.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Bible said when Solomon was king, everyone had their own tree.
Mm, that
So
part.
he was rich and his people was rich.
Mm.
Hi, this is Ben with Video Rank Makers. In today's digital age, reaching and engaging your congregation online is more important than ever. But we know that it's not always easy. Whether you're live streaming services, sharing sermons on social media, or posting church updates, your message deserves to be seen and heard. That's where Video Rank Makers come in. We provide you with the tools and strategies to create impactful videos that resonate with your congregation and reach new audiences. We're also here to help you harness the power of SEO, ensuring your videos rank higher on YouTube and Google so your church message reaches even more people. From optimizing your video for better visibility or crafting content that speaks to the heart, we're here to help you amplify your church's voice in a digital world. Let's work together and spread your message to a further than ever audience. Ready to grow your church online? Click the link below and let's get started today. Let's go.
Got you.
You know
Got
what
you.
I'm saying?
I'm
So,
hearing you.
it's all there. And
Uh-huh.
some of my most impactful scriptures was James, and you said, when you ask, be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are double-minded, you are unstable in all that you do, and you will get nothing.
Wow. 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 Excellent. Excellent.
So,
So,
you have not because you ask not, but when you ask, you better be sure, and then you better be ready. And then while you having all this faith, you better be working because
yeah,
faith without works is dead. Yes, we have
yeah.
heard the parable of the talents. He gave one 5, 1 10.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't using what you got,
Come on now.
right? And it's not always going to be pretty. If you had told me
Mm-hmm.
January 31st will be 8 years, I would have been in business.
All
If
right.
you had told me back in 2014 that this was going to be my life, I'd have been like, yo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it may not necessarily look how you expect it to look. You
Uh-huh.
have to learn to take the gifts and talents that you have and make them work for you. My gift is teaching.
Uh-huh.
That has been my gift my entire life. When I look back over my life, even when I was 6 years old, I was teaching my cousin how to tie her shoe. I had to teach a cousin how to spell. I had to teach a cousin how to tell time, right? I've grown up teaching. Teaching isn't sexy, right? It's not this grandiose out here motivational. You too can do it, Tony
Uh-huh.
Robbins. No,
Yeah.
it's not sexy, but it's my gift. It's my talent. How do I take that and multiply? That's
Mm-hmm.
what I learned to do and learn to be okay with it because you will have people tell you, you got to do it this way. No, you don't. You have
Uh-huh.
to use the things that God gave you
Mm-hmm.
and make them work for you. That's what you do.
Wow. Now, being a teacher, what goes through your mind when you got somebody on the other side? You're pouring your heart out, and the other person like, I still don't get it. I don't get it. uh,
I honestly have not had that.
really? Well, that means that really God is really using you in the person to understand what it is that you're saying.
Yes. And the way that I the way that I approach things, if you can't explain it to a 6 year old, you don't understand it.
Hmm. Got
So
it.
go back and try again. So many people know when I first started, well, for those that don't know me, because like everybody should know me, right?
Right. Well, we're gonna
But
try to make sure everybody know you after this
but
release.
when I started, I was doing videos, I was doing Facebook Lives, right?
Hmm.
Because if I couldn't teach it, I didn't know it.
Mm. Got it.
So that's why I did the videos.
Hmm.
Then people started asking me questions. If I can't shoot a video about it, then I don't know it well enough.
Hmm. Got it. That makes sense. For all you marketers out there that's trying to teach somebody something, take note.
If you can explain it to a 6 year old, then you got it.
Got it. So let me ask you this. Now, as we read the word, the profession that you chose is not is not
Oh,
a
help
well
me,
looked on.
Matthew.
Yeah, it's not a well looked on profession biblically. How did you how did you approach that? Now we know Matthew was doing some,
I
you know,
negotiated, making love, right? He had to
right,
eat too.
right. But how did you view that? How did you look at that? I mean,
Because my
process.
job is to help you pay the least amount legally
Mm,
allowable. That's my
mm.
job. I work for
Got
you, the client, within the confines of the law.
got it. Got
And
it.
so that does not mean that my job is to get you a refund. It's to get your tax liability to the lowest amount legally allowable. That's my job.
Wow. There it is. Because this is the first time I heard somebody actually say that, it's not their job to get a refund. But you are trying to just get it down as low as possibly you can. Wow. That's interesting. That's another way that someone that's going to hire you should be looking at it. You want somebody that's going to do it right, and you want somebody that, is going to, as I say, make sure you stay out of jail.
Right. Because what happens is, and you see it, you're going to see it starting December. where you're going to be to refunds up to $7,000, these advances and all of this stuff. You will not see that come from Lusandra Everett because number one, they're appealing to your greed. And the people that are getting these refunds, these are our poor people. These are our earned income credit people. Okay. And if you know anything about the earned income credit, it was called originally the poverty credit.
Wow.
This was a tax credit that was designed to help low income people lift them up out of poverty. Now, I get it. We see the tax season ballers and all of that stuff, right? But the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities did a study back in 2017, I believe. But it showed the majority of the people that get these earned income credit refunds are catching up on bills. They're catching up on rent. They're catching up on gas and electric and all of that. That's how the earned income credit started. It changed over the years to where it was rewarding work. Like you actually have to have earned income in order to get this earned income credit. So these are our most vulnerable people who are getting these large refunds. And so a lot of tax professionals market specifically to those people because you're getting all of this money back. So paying your fee isn't going to be an issue, right? Because they take that fee out of your refund. But have y'all really looked at them fees? If you go get an advance on your refund, or you get you pay for your tax preparation out of your refund, I want you to look at those fees.
All right. Look at those fees. What are we going to find when we look at them?
Mm.
What are we going to find?
You're probably going to find that if you save some of that money, that you will get cheaper tax prep the following year. Because see, I don't have a lot of earned income credit clients. I may have two, right? My clients pay up front.
I hear that.
But it's typically cheaper than, and I do have people that pay for their tax prep out of their refunds. But I was like, okay, do you understand how much this is costing you? Like, I am going to tell you, this is costing you now. If you do this again next year, your blood is not on my hands because I told you.
Wow. Wow. So would I have it correct? Because I think there's a view that, I'm getting a refund this year and, I'm about to boss up, right? Opposed to somebody that's paying. In my thought, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the people that's paying, most likely they've been making money, good money all year long.
Or their withholdings were really off.
Well, that could be true too. And I was thinking, like, do we have it backwards? Should we be getting excited for getting a refund? Does that,
Not really. Because when you're getting a refund, you need to understand why you're getting a refund. If you're getting a refund because you've overpaid, like you've had, your withholdings have been too high, then you're really giving the government money, an interest-free loan. Okay. If you have a refund because you have overpaid your estimates. That means you're a business owner. You have paid your estimated taxes because, see, when you're a business owner, you're responsible for your own taxes. Ain't nobody withholding taxes like a job. So if you have if you have overpaid your estimates, you may get a refund that way. Now, the estimates, though, are based on the current year. Like when you file your taxes, like based on this information, this is how much you got to pay next year. Now, if those numbers change, you might go from having a really great year to a not so great year. And so if you kept up with those estimates, you may get a refund for that. So you got to know why you're getting a refund.
Wow.
Now, child tax credit. So if you are listening and you have a child that has turned 17 in that tax year, they go from being worth $2,000 to like $500. Okay. That is like one of the simplest tax plans. Look at the age of your children. Wow. Because that means that your tax bill is automatically going to go up because they have aged out.
Wait, what's the age?
In the year they turn 17.
All right, I got one more year. I got one.
Right, because my daughter is 16 this year. This is my last.
Mine too. Man,
She's going to depreciate faster than a car.
wow.
Yeah. And most people don't catch that. So you have to adjust that W-4 so you're not getting that money taken out of your check because you're going to have to pay.
That was a tip.
Yeah.
Adjust the W-4
Mhm.
as each child.
Yep.
I'll be
Because
right back. I'll be right back.
you got to
Man,
adjust that W-4 on your job because HR is not looking at this for you. That's not their job to tell you what to put on your W-4. They just gonna be like, well, you ain't say nothing. So we just kept doing what we was doing.
wow. Do you realize you probably saved some people some money just in that tip
I try to
alone?
tell people every year, if your kid is turning 17 in the tax year, you need to adjust that W-4 because that's going to change your withholdings.
Wow. Yeah, I need to do that today. Today. Oh my God. Y'all hear that out there? If your child is crossed that age limit, you better go change your withholding. Or
Yep.
else you may be, paying for that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. Now, you actually teach other people how to do what it is that you do. Um, what first, I guess the question is, on average, of course, we're talking about averages, we're not talking about, anything personal, but on average, how much can someone make doing the job that you do?
Okay. So to be clear, I teach continuing education.
All
So I
right.
don't teach basic tax prep. There's plenty of people that teach basic tax prep. I teach the continuing education, which is going to make you a smarter tax professional. Okay. And
Mm,
believe me, there are plenty of people who do not value continuing education. They just go and put some numbers in the computer and you better hope it's right. That ain't what I do. And so that is where I provide continuing education for other tax professionals. Now, as far as
oh,
how much money you can make, it really, like you see it, go make $250,000 in 90 days and all these things. Is it possible? Absolutely. But so is winning the lottery, right?
uh, I,
So,
I,
so you can actually build. There are plenty of people who make, great money, and there's lots of ways to make money in this industry. Don't get me wrong. But the thing that you have to remember is that you are dealing with people's lives. That's the thing that you have to do. So if you mess up a return, the taxpayer is the one that has to deal, not you as the tax professional.
wow, really?
Yes.
So the tax preparer don't have no bearing legally after the taxes have been prepared. Maybe they didn't get the continuing education from you, and they not, at the top of the game as they would have been if they would have got the education from you.
Under
And
penalties of perjury, I declare that I, taxpayer, have examined the return.
examine. Mm. Eh.
So unless your person is doing something criminal,
Uh-huh.
it's still your responsibility. So let me give you all an example. And you have to, I really need for you all to get this.
All
There
right.
are plenty of tax preparers who are out here who they are learning incorrectly. So there was a tax professional who did some huge webinar and talked about how everybody qualified for fuel tax credits. That is a lie. But there was another tax preparer because they listened to them, didn't get the education themselves. 200 people she put fuel tax credits on. 200 people got refunds they were not entitled to. Those 200 people have to pay that money back with penalties and interest because that was not their money. This person is maybe criminally prosecuted because it's 200 people. It wasn't one oops, it was 200 oopses.
Oh, wow.
So at 200 oopses, that's kind of willful.
Mhm.
But it wasn't intentional because she didn't know, because she didn't go get continuing education. And, and so that's why you have to check your sources. Go get
Wow.
reputable sources.
Wow.
And this is why I do what I do.
Yeah. And this is why you know nonsense about it too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Wow. 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 So, you mainly deal with business owners, though, right? You don't deal with any personal.
Yes, I do. I do both, but
All
it's
right.
mainly businesses because these are the people that's getting in trouble
Wow.
because they go out here and make all this money and don't save for taxes. Yeah,
What would you say is the average percentage a person should put up for tax?
30%.
30%. And that no matter where they live.
Off the top. Take 30% off the top. It hurts.
Uh-huh.
But if you take 30% off the top, and this is one of the things I put in my book. If you take 30% off the top, you're kind of figuring 25% for the IRS, 5% for the state, right? That's on average. If you do that, then you should have enough money to pay your tax bill. Now, you might have too much money. Then you have choices. You pay
Mm-hmm.
your tax bill, and then you have something left over. You got choices. So if
Mm-hmm.
you got some money left over, you could either leave it in a savings account, go get you some shoes, do
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but pay your taxes first.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Pay them taxes.
And this is why you're saving. So if you save that money, you pay your estimates, then when it gets to tax time, your tax bill is not so large. You've already saved that money. So this is how you get through the season. This is how you get through managing those taxes. But if you don't do your bookkeeping to know how much profit you have and you haven't saved any money, you're not going to know how much you owe. And then you're going to be trying to figure out how to pay this tax bill in April
Mm.
when it's time to pay.
Got it. Got it. But as being a tax preparer, just to get back on the question, what if a person was saying, you know what, well, I guess you might not be able to truly answer that, like how much a person can actually make at the beginning,
Yeah.
or
I mean, it just depends. It just really just depends on. So I'll give you, for instance, my first year, I had 5 clients. I made what, $5,000 that year?
all right,
Yeah.
wow, all right. So a person really has to be in this for the long haul if they're going to make this a career
Yeah.
and
And you
with
gotta,
clients here.
and just like with any other business, you got to market. You have to get out here and get your client, know who that client is for you and speak to them. Business owners don't speak refund language because we know we ain't getting no refunds. We
Right,
write
right,
checks.
right, right,
That sounds like if you get a refund as a business owner, something has gone wrong.
right,
Something has
right.
really gone wrong. Yeah.
I got you. Now, one thing I noticed about you, and we're gonna begin to wrap up here. We're coming in right at the hour mark. But one thing I noticed about you is that you have been, in my opinion, laser focused on
Mhm.
this one area. I don't see you like other business owners bouncing from this to that and doing this. What has kept you from getting, as we call it, the shiny ball syndrome? Where you jump from now you're the business tax lady today, and tomorrow you are uh,
Credit lady, the hair lady, the
the hair lady. Not to say that you don't you not to say that you might not have other businesses running in the background, but you not what you present to us is a laser focus. When somebody say business tax lady, we know exactly who they're talking about.
yeah,
How have you been able to be so laser focused in this one area?
because that's my purpose. Like
Mm,
people sit here and say, how do I know what my purpose is? Right? My purpose is to teach. The method I use is taxes. So one of the nuggets, listen, when you are walking in your divine purpose,
Come on with it.
The people that you need will show up when you need them. I can tell you every step of the way where that pivotal person has shown up in my life.
Mm.
From the beginning, that very first, hey, my folks are having this tax class, to my instructor who was an enrolled agent and an Army wife.
All right.
Ding, ding. I was an Army wife. She
Mm-hmm.
was me. I needed to know how to do this.
Right.
I went to a conference and there was this lady that came up to me and she was like, hey, you are so great. I'd like to sit down and talk with you because I think we can do something together. Found out this lady was a multi-business owner. She owned her own CPA firm. She was like, I want you to come work for me. I was like, bet. I am there. And she hazed me. Okay. She's like, do you know how to do this? Go do it. I bring it back to her. She mark it up. Go fix it. Right. And it was just so amazing just to be in her presence because I was really learning about the business. Right. I watched how she handled difficult clients, all the things. So when it comes down to this teaching thing, I had someone tell me, you can get your 24 hours of continuing education in a year. You can do that and be mediocre. But if you want to be excellent, you need 100. Noted, sir. So I've been on it. And over these last couple of years, that has put me exponentially head and shoulders of where someone else at the same amount of time in the business would be. I have people who have been in the business for 20 years coming to ask me tax questions. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I know. All right.
Wow.
But it is operating in excellence. Now, when, Solomon said invest in 7 ventures, yea, 8, right? But I took this one thing. I don't have to go learn anything different in order to monetize different areas of the business, right? There's the tax preparation. There's the tax representation part when people get in trouble. There's tax planning. I teach continuing education. I got to take it anyway. I can teach it too. So I'm not having to separate my brain into all of these different things. It's tax, but used in different ways.
Wow. Man, I'm so glad we're having this conversation and that this is going to be the first one because I'm going to have other entrepreneurs on this podcast. And we need to lead out with this.
I'm excited because here, let me say this. And we talk about the role of money and all of these things as it relates to Christianity and all this. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Jesus still working on me, okay?
On all of us.
Don't get it twisted now. But here's the thing. When people talking about Christians and money and being rich, like I said, you have all of these examples in the Bible where people were not broke. Abraham was not broke. Job was not broke. Solomon, David, all of them were not broke. You get into the New Testament. Okay, the women followed Jesus. They paid for things out of their own money. They wasn't broke. Jesus wasn't broke. They said, Jesus, you gonna pay your taxes? Let me go. Now, I don't know if we're gonna go get it out the lake, but I'm just saying. Right? Paul was not broke. Like, come on. Because see, it takes money to run a church. And when people talk about we need the church to help the community, a broke church can't help nobody. Right? And so if we are the members who are supposed to be funding the church, people, cry about tithing and all of these things, you know what? I'm going to do my part. If I find out that you misusing my part, then we got a problem.
Then we got some issues. Yeah.
But that's the thing. So, there is nothing wrong with a Christian having money. But you can't help nobody if you broke.
That part. Yes.
And I heard someone say a long time ago, the best way to help a poor person is to not be one. And it stung when he said it But when I got it, I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
because if I have nothing, then I have nothing to give you.
Nothing to give. Right. Wow.
Give from
Wow.
your overflow. If you ain't even flowing, how you gonna help somebody? How you
Mm.
gonna help change their mind, change their situation, change
Mm-hmm.
all these things? If you have not done it,
Mm-hmm.
then how am I gonna sit here and say, oh, you too can do what? Listen, thoughts and prayers only go so far.
Right, right, right. We're looking for the fruit of your own works and of your own labor. I think there was one marketer saying, you can't sell a dream looking like a nightmare.
Ain't so dream looking like a nightmare. But see, I always go back to Solomon, right?
Uh-huh.
The Bible says that Solomon, people came to Solomon every year
Hmm.
to pay him for his advice.
He had an annual subscription.
He had an annual subscription. People talk about when you get to heaven, who you want to talk to. I want to talk to the Queen of Sheba.
Mm.
That sister left Africa. She left Africa, went to find Solomon.
Uh-huh.
Now, she didn't get in a car. They had camels and carts and horses and things, right? To go all the way to find Solomon. And
Mm.
she said, what I heard,
Uh-huh.
what
Yes.
it just didn't even scratch the surface. So now, how cool was Solomon that it reached the Queen of Sheba that she packed up all her stuff. She packed up all of this stuff to travel with her. So I'm a nerd.
Talk to us.
I'm a like, she had to travel about 4 miles a day. So
Mm.
when you think about all the stuff, because it says she brought stuff with her. She didn't come empty
Right.
handed.
No, she didn't.
So she dragged all of
She
this
had a
stuff.
trail. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
all of this stuff to Solomon just to hear from him. The Bible says that he gave her everything she asked for plus some. Now I heard some tea. I got to know the tea too. I just need to
All
let
right.
you know.
Right, right, right.
He gave her all that she asked for plus more.
Mm. So he over delivered.
Over delivered. He had an annual subscription and he over delivered. And everybody that came to him prospered. Come on now. So he wasn't broke.
So I can go on. I can literally go
I
on
know
and
we
on
could be here
about
forever.
this. Right. Because I'm thinking, all right, in my mind, as far as relationships goes, it's my opinion that most men are attracted to what they see and most women are attracted to what they hear. So she actually heard something that made her get up, y'all get all this stuff together, and we about to go travel. No internet, no, none of that. And the word got to her. And because well, I don't know, because she was a woman of power
Mhm.
in her own rights. She was the queen.
He was a queen.
Yeah. So I really would like to know, and maybe I need to do some research on this. What was the word that she heard? Like, I know the woman at the well, when after she met with Jesus, she went back in and said, "Come meet a man that told me everything." So I don't
She only
know.
had to go like a couple hundred yards, right? She
Yeah,
ain't compared to a
Sheba.
continent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Queen of Sheba. Yeah.
Come on.
Wow. What do you think the word was?
I don't know. But I know if everybody else was getting rich, she was like, hold on, let me go find out. Right.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah. And so that's what I'm saying, for all of us Christian entrepreneurs, like the word is there.
Hmm.
It.
Hmm.
And every time you read it, you're gonna get a little something different.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, so read, but it's in there. Everything you need is in there. I kid you not. You will have other books that help expound, but the foundation of stuff, I go right. Let me go in here and get in these here Ecclesiastes and see what's going on.
Mm.
You're getting these first and second kings to see what's going on.
Uh-huh. So you pretty much, I was about to ask you a final question. You just answered it. The last question was what is one piece of advice you would give to Christian entrepreneurs just starting their business journey? And you pretty much telling us, let's get in the word.
Read your Bible. Go read
Yeah,
about Solomon. Like, don't gloss over nothing. Go read. It really.
really read.
Mhm.
Wow.
Think about it. Read the what you call them things, the footnotes and all the things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Read all that
Get
stuff.
it. Get a better understanding. You might not be able to get the right understanding reading the King James Version.
Yeah.
Open up, the Message Bible or the NIV or another version of it, and it may break it down a little bit better so that you can understand it.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that 100%. The word, even as someone that is, I like to think that I'm an avid reader of his word, but there are some scriptures that I read last year and I read it this year, and I'm like, I didn't get that last year. Like, what was I even thinking last year? Because the word of God is living, right? It's growing. It grows our thoughts
Mhm.
and helps shape our actions that we take. So we certainly thank God for that. And we thank God for you being with us today.
Thank you for
Oh
having me.
my
I'm excited to be the first
goodness.
one.
Listen, what do you have? How can people find you?
So the name of my business is Everett Tax Solutions. My name is Lysandra Everett. I hang out on Facebook mostly, you'll know you'll find me. But yeah, I'm on social media, Instagram, look up the Home Biz Tax Lady. But yeah, I'm really here to help be a resource for people. Like,
Mhm.
I might not be your tax professional, but if we can point you to the right person and point you to some resources, we're happy to do that.
Now, you have a YouTube channel too, right?
Yep, Home Biz Tax Lady. Now I will tell you, I haven't shot videos in like forever,
Sandra.
but the vegetables are there.
Yeah. All right. So so that's where we can go get our dose of vegetables right over there.
Yep,
Right.
that's it. It's sustaining. It doesn't change. It's like there are some principal things that just don't change.
Right. So, do you have anything that you're promoting right now? Any place you're going to be speaking at, where people can find you, say in the next, from now until the end of the year?
Oh
Let's
my
say.
gosh, I will be in Ohio this weekend at the Ohio Society of Enrolled Agents. I will be there. I will be in Virginia at the Virginia Society Fall Conference, October, they're going to kill me, 21st, I think. And
Put it
then,
down in the description.
yeah, then I'm chilling for the rest of the year, getting ready for the tax season.
Wow. Oh man. So January to how long? Like, don't even call you. Don't message me unless you talk business. January to when?
Exactly. But now is the time for you to find your tax professional. If you need to find one, now is the time to do the work. I will tell you that. Anytime between September, October, and December, that's when you find your person, not during tax season.
See, you keep saying stuff that made me want to ask you another question, but we're
Well,
trying
you
to.
can't ask a question. I got to give you what I can give you. I got to give it
All
to you.
right, all right, all right, all right. So listen, if you all are looking for a tax person, all right, you're looking for a person that's gonna keep you out of jail, all right. If you're looking for a person that's gonna tell you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear, listen. You already see what's going on. Give her a call. Go to her website, which is what? What's your website?
EverettTaxSolutions.com.
EverettTaxSolutions.com. It'll be down in the description box. Go there, check her out. I'm pretty sure that you're going to be very well pleased with everything that she's doing in every way that she can actually help you. Um, this is a channel where we believe in the Word of God. We believe in the uncompromised Word of God. And we also believe in doing things correctly, right? So that's why she fits so perfectly right here on the Faith in the Marketplace podcast, powered by Derek Strickland Ministries. And man, this is a dream come true. Man, I thank you for being our first guest. If you knew any Christian entrepreneur that would benefit and that we could benefit from being on this podcast, name me one. Name me one. Yeah, I just put you on the spot. Name me one.
I know. Oh my gosh. The first person that popped in my mind was Adrian Hines.
Adrian Hines. Now, I know Adrian myself, so I'm gonna let you off the slack because you was already on my list. Because I'm gonna let you off the hook, sis, because he was already on my list. Because the next question was going to be, now I need you to help me get him on the podcast. But I'm gonna reach out to Adrian, and we have history together. He's a solid brother, awesome guy. Him and his wife, awesome people, good people. So we're gonna be getting him on and picking his brain as it relates to being a Christian entrepreneur. So once again, we thank each and every one of you all. Listen, if you all have enjoyed this podcast, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, share this out with all of your business people out there. You don't want to see your friends go to jail. You don't want to see that. So send them this podcast so that they can understand what they need to do. Get in contact with her before she get really booked up, because I'm pretty sure she's getting booked. People are reaching out all the time, and I don't know. You don't want her to have to turn you away because you booked up. So now is the time. I believe I'm going to go ahead and release this a little bit earlier, just for that reason alone. Right, I want my people to be taken care of. We right at about 15,000 subscribers here at the current moment. And those people that need your help, I want them to get it ASAP. All right. So this is Elder Derek Strickland once again with the Faith in the Marketplace podcast. And let's remember to keep the faith in the marketplace. I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Peace.